Think South Africa's billionaires run the country. Think again, it's the women behind the scenes who truly pull the strings. From media empires to mining fortunes, black women in South Africa quietly control industries and influence wealth like no one else. Today, we reveal the richest and most powerful among them. And here's where it gets interesting. Basetsana Kumalo, Miss South Africa 1994. That crown wasn't just a tiara on her head, it was the first step into an empire. She came from a family where hard work was everything, where discipline and ambition weren't optional. You could see it in her eyes even back then. Someone destined for more than just pageants. Scholarship to Georgetown? Check. A love for politics? Check. But she didn't stop there. She jumped headfirst into the media world, co-founding Swell Productions and turning Top Billing into a household name that wasn't just TV, that was influence, clout, power. The company merged with Primedia and was listed on the JSE. Millions were watching, but it was the deals behind the scenes that really mattered. Her ventures didn't just stay in entertainment, cosmetics, property, telecom, even coal mining. She spread her influence everywhere, quietly shaping industries that most people didn't even know she controlled. Then came marriage to Romeo Khumalo, which only strengthened her reach, connecting business and personal power like a master strategist. And it didn't end with money. The Basetsana Kumalo Foundation became her personal battlefield for change, education, mentorship, youth empowerment. She was building more than wealth. She was building a legacy. Millions in net worth? Sure, but it's the respect, the networks, the doors she opens for others that make her a true powerhouse. And this part blew my mind. Khanyi Dhlomo. If you think the media is just glitz and gossip, think again. Khanyi Dhlomo took magazines and turned them into powerhouses of influence. She became the youngest editor of True Love magazine, and under her leadership, circulation skyrocketed. But Khanyi Dhlomo wasn't satisfied being in front of the camera. She wanted to own the story, control the narrative. So she sharpened her business edge at Harvard Business School and returned ready to change the game. She founded Endelo Media and launched Destiny and Destiny Man magazines. These weren't gossip rags, they were blueprints for ambition, wealth, and leadership. Women saw themselves not just as readers, but as future CEOs, decision makers, and trailblazers. Her marriage to businessman and diplomat Judy Dlamini expanded her reach even further, giving her access to political corridors and global networks. Even after Endelo Media eventually closed, Khanyi had already left a permanent mark, proving that black-owned media could thrive and that storytelling could carry as much weight as boardroom power. And here's where influence goes beyond titles. Zanelli Mbeki. Zanelli Mbeki didn't need a flashy spotlight to make a difference. As First Lady, she quietly reshaped grassroots power in South Africa. With a background in social work, she understood the real engine of change: women. She founded the Women's Development Bank Trust, providing small loans, mentoring, and opportunities for women to transform street stalls into thriving businesses. Zanelli's work wasn't about charity, it was about financial independence, dignity, and sustainability. Behind the presidency, she built networks, guided foundations, and promoted policy debates that transformed lives. Even after leaving the union buildings, she stayed active, expanding support structures that continued to empower thousands. Her wealth isn't flashy, it's measured in influence, transformation, and the thousands of women whose lives she changed. Just when you thought influence was only about money, meet Tshepo Mepe. Tshepo Mepe's story isn't about flashy headlines. It's about impact that reverberates through hospitals, villages, and boardrooms. A physician turned strategist, she combined public health expertise with political acumen. Degrees from the University of KwaZulu-Natal and an MPH from Harvard gave her the tools to tackle some of South Africa's toughest challenges. From working in hospitals to leading programs with WHO and UNICEF, Tshepo focused on maternal and child health, HIV initiatives, and rural health development. Her advocacy extended beyond medicine. Nutrition, early childhood education, and social equity were all causes she championed. Family ties only strengthened her influence. The Mopi dynasty, her brother Patrice Moepe, and connections to the Ramaphosa household created a network few could rival. Tshepo's net worth might remain undisclosed, but her ability to bridge politics, business, and philanthropy makes her one of the most quietly powerful women in the country. And here's where grit meets corporate dominance. Nonkululeko Nyembezi. In male-dominated industries, Nonkululeko Nyembezi didn't just survive, She thrived. Armed with an electrical engineering degree from Manchester and a master's from Caltech, she stormed into the tech and industrial sectors with confidence. IBM, steel, telecoms. She conquered them all, eventually becoming CEO of Arcelor Middle South Africa and chairing the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Mining and energy? She owned that game too. Alexander Forbes, Icor Coal. Her influence spread across boards and continents. Recognized by Forbes Africa for her global impact, Nonkulu paved the way for women in industries that rarely welcome them. Millions in net worth aside, her story is about breaking ceilings, rewriting rules, and showing the world that power and leadership aren't gendered. They're earned. Just when you thought the corporate world was untouchable, Fury Mahaneli Danua stepped in. Fury's rise is the kind of story that makes you rethink what's possible. A dynamic leader in finance, tech, and media, she honed her skills with an MBA from De Montfort in the UK and an executive program at Harvard. From investment banking in the US to leading South Africa's Shanduka Group, she eventually became CEO of Napers, the first black woman to hold that title. Her influence didn't stop there. Board memberships with Vodacom and Gold Fields positioned her at the heart of industries shaping the nation's economy. Beyond business, Fury invests in people, mentorship programs, youth initiatives, and her recognition on Forbes Africa's most powerful women list shows her impact stretches far beyond balance sheets. Tens of millions in net worth aside, she's proof that South African women are not just participants, they lead the economy. And if you thought influence could only be measured in numbers, Judy Dlamini proves it's about legacy. A doctor, academic, and philanthropist, Judy built a wealth empire with brains and strategy. Medicine at the University of Natal, an MBA at WITS, and a doctorate in business leadership from UNISA gave her a foundation few could match. She leveraged that knowledge to create Mbekani Investment Holdings, expanding into healthcare, property, and retail. Her leadership didn't go unnoticed. Chairing Aspen Pharmacare and serving on the boards of Anglo American and Woolworths, Judy cemented her influence across sectors. Yet philanthropy remains at her core: scholarships, mentorship, and programs targeting women and youth. Tens of millions in net worth? Yes, but more importantly, she's a role model whose impact resonates across generations, showing that power is built as much with heart as with skill. And now, here's where influence meets sheer resilience. Irene Charnley. Irene's journey started in the trenches of labor activism as a trade unionist, where she learned the art of negotiation with the National Union of Mine Workers. Those skills catapulted her into corporate leadership, eventually landing at MTN as executive director. Under her leadership, MTN expanded across Africa and the Middle East, earning her the nickname Golden Girl. But she didn't stop there. Irene founded Smile Telecoms, a game changer in improving African connectivity, and became a director at Lawn Platinum Producers, leaving her mark on the mining sector as well. Forbes Africa recognized her impact, and her net worth surpasses $150 million. Irene embodies the rare combination of grit, intelligence, and influence, proof that real power often operates quietly behind the scenes, shaping entire industries. Then there's Bridget Radby, proof that starting at the bottom doesn't limit you. Bridget began as a mine worker, learning the ropes and building crucial networks. She leveraged that experience to found Mama Cow Mining, becoming the first black female mining producer in South Africa. Her leadership extended further as president of the South African Mining Development Association, where she championed black entrepreneurs in a historically male-dominated industry. Marriage to Jeff Redeb expanded her political reach, adding a new layer to her influence. Today, her net worth exceeds $100 million, but her true legacy is the transformation she brought to South Africa's mining sector, opening doors for countless others and proving that determination can turn humble beginnings into industry domination. And at the very top, the woman who quietly owns more than just wealth, Precious Moloi Mape. Wife of Patrice Mappi, Precious holds the distinction of being South Africa's first black billionaire. Her journey began in medicine, training as a doctor, but she pivoted toward fashion and philanthropy, reshaping industries in the process. She established African Fashion International, AFI, a global platform elevating African designers to international acclaim, and launched the Matsepe Foundation, tackling education, health, and poverty, notably the first African organization to join the Giving Pledge. Her influence stretches further through board membership with global philanthropic and development organizations, earning her multiple awards recognizing leadership and social development. Precious's net worth may number in the hundreds of millions, but her unmatched power lies in how she's reshaped fashion, philanthropy, and societal influence. Quietly ruling from behind the scenes, proving that real control isn't always visible, but its effects are monumental. These women prove that true power in South Africa isn't just about billionaires or politics. It's about influence, ownership, and vision. Who shocked you the most? Comment below, smash that like button, and subscribe to discover more stories of the real rulers behind the headlines.